Welcome back to Epically Latered. This is a special edition about this book Vice is making, Fullbleed. It's about skateboarding and skate photography in New York City. And it was put together by Alex Corcoran, Andre Razzo, and Ivory Serra. Alex Corcoran's been asking me for pictures for like 6 years, and I think I got him in just under the deadline. For me, it's like sick to be in a New York book. I'm from the Midwest, I came here, and so I'm like, yeah, use my pictures, hell yes. Like, what are they doing, sitting in a drawer? Like, you take pictures because you want people to see them. A lot of them are pictures like I grew up looking at, you know, and then some of them are before my time, and it's like cool to see. A lot of other pictures I like. Steve Olson has a cool one. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, and so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the book.
Been here skating the streets of New York for the past 25 years or 38 years of my life. People always question me where I skate in New York, and I always tell them like, oh, all around the streets of New York, and they can never like understand like what I meant by that. So at one point, like, big light bulb came in my head. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I could explain this by photos.
And Alex had been probably for 4 years talking to photographers and organizing slides, and you know, at that time it wasn't all digital, so it was like literally bags of slides. And at that point I was like, you know, who could, you know, lay this out in a sense? And then Andre was the first person I thought of. No, it was a real like a collective effort.
You definitely see a range in the book of like, you know, there are definitely groups of skaters or like, you know, or trends that are happening in the time, because it spans, you know, a good 30 years. The really early shots, like the 80s stuff or even the 70s, it wasn't really shot for magazines, and there wasn't a style of shooting skateboarding then. It was more people just shooting their friends, and it feels way more documentary, and you can feel that's really loose.
You know, there's skaters that if you think of New York, you think of Harold Hunter, Andy Kessler, like there is people that we say like, we got to get a picture of this person.
You know, Andy in the book has throughout the last 30 years been actively skating. You know, the time that he was around here in New York, he was actually really a big part of the skating scene. He was actually the first person on the cover of Thrasher from New York, I think in 1983. He kind of has his own legacy that we just try to preserve in the book.
It's a good one. There's Alyosha Moore, original from New York City, and his mom went out and shot with him. Yeah.
So his mom shot that?
Yeah.
That's sick.
And just like you could just feel the energy from there. It's like he was having a good day with his mom, like just skating like from a demo, being psyched.
I love that one of Harold.
Yeah, that's
Those pants.
I think it was the first shot of him Thrasher.
amazing, and it's great that we actually got him in the book. He's definitely one of the bigger icons of New York.
That was
He had the meanest heel flips. And the thing about Harold, he was just worldwide everyone's best friend. He'd always be that guy, you know, and people from Brazil to Australia to all around the world, it's like, if you go somewhere, there's at least 1 out of 5 people that hung out with Harold and has a great story about it.
I don't know. I remember like the one of Harold Hunter like ollieing off the loading dock, and like, you know, I was always like, dang, New York just looks awesome in photos, you know. And it's like the painted loading docks, you know, which of course suck to skate, but like they look amazing. It just seemed like an exciting place to live, basically, like for skating and just anything else, like art and the party, you know.
Are there any other like skaters that you think of like that define kind of like a New York photo? Or
You know, there's a lot of dudes. Chris Keefe, I don't know, Jeff Pang, Ronnie Torres, Quim Cardona. Quim is sick. These bumps always come out of the street because of buses, and the pavement gets all soft in the summertime. And so you can find like temporary spots because of that. And they're pretty cool. You can't go wrong pretty much in New York. Like everything looks awesome. Oh, there it is. That's the black and white. That's what should have been on the cover, the skateboarder cover. At that time, they didn't want to do any black and white covers. What happened, I think we were on cover deadline, and I just called up Zared and I was like, hey, we need a cover. You got any tricks? And so we went down to the banks, and he frontside grinded a pillar. I shot a black and white, fisheye, which is how I liked it, and then I sent it in there like, well, we want it to be color. And so I went back and I shot a color and long lens, but I still like the first one better. But
oh, so he did it twice.
yeah, he did it twice. Pretty gnarly. This photo of Trujillo is pretty funny. I remember there was like some demo at the old KCDC, and I just had my point and shoot there and was hanging out. But I have this photo of the same thing. It's kind of funny. Poaching. That was the best place to shoot for a while, I thought, was the Volcano Plaza on 7th and Kent. I always like this photo that Patrick shot of Jason Dill.
Yeah, he was like, this is like some shit Neil Blender, like Mark Gonzalez would do. And I think I had seen the spot and I brought him, but he was psyched on it. Yeah, there's a lot of photos in here from that spot because it was like pretty like iconic or whatever. The Dill photo was in like an anniversary issue of Thrasher. And I remember what happened was I set up all these flashes, like skate flashes. And I remember I got them back and it looked really bad because it was like this white light coming in. And I thought it just looked lame. Like you see skate photos like that. And I always think it's lame to just have like some setup and then white light coming in. So I picked one where the flash didn't go off because I just thought it looked better. Even though it wasn't sharp, I just was like, this is better than the good one. So I sent it to Thrasher, but then Jake Phelps was like, it's blurry and his feet look suspicious. And then Dill was like, no, fuck that. But then it was funny when I shot this Louis Barletta one, it was the same spot, but maybe like later. And we just set it up for fun. And I always like Louis because he's just like fun, like let's build something, you know? And as a photographer, you're like, hell yeah, like let's do something different. So now it's hard, like sometimes you shoot with people and you're like, I got this idea, this will be like a sick photo. And they're just thinking like, no, the trick's too easy. You're like, no, but it's not about that. It's about like a sick photo. Like we can do something cool that people remember.
So did you have a favorite New York photo that you saw in magazines or?
So I had this one on my wall. It was Mike Kepper doing like a method at the banks. But I remember I liked it because there was people sitting on the wall. And which is weird because nowadays you tell them to move. But I liked it because it looked to me like a cool session, like a guy's doing a cool trick and there's the people sitting right there. It made me think like, I don't know, like that's a cool session, I'd like to go there. And then the Dan Pencil was the C-Squat. It was a guy that used to skate Tompkins that lived there. He's just some dude, some like squatter skater guy. And he's like, I got this ramp. And we went and I shot that picture. And I liked it because it reminded me of like some old New York thing, like in some movie when they like go to New York, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something. It'd be like Shredder's lair. That's what I like. There's like face tattoo guys and like weird dudes. You know what I mean? Like I would say almost sometimes that the pinnacle of the trick is the least important part of skateboarding. And the most important would be just skating. Actually, like, you know. It's like easy to do what we're talking about. Just go skate. It's easy. It's like the easiest place in the world to like walk out of your house and go skate. So you go out and skate a curb, and yeah, you're not going to use it for your ad, but most skaters, 99% of skaters, don't worry about their next ad. Because I see Mark Gonzalez, you know, he's like a 40-year-old man or however old he is, and I see him like daffying along, and I see him like skating in front of his house, and I see him skating. Can't imagine him being like, it's hard to skate here.
Yeah, it's just so fun photographing in New York City. Just skating everywhere, dodging in and out of traffic. And yeah, I'm from San Francisco. I originally went to New York in 1989 when I got a plane ticket as a high school graduation present. And two of the photographs that are in the book are photographs I took on that trip. Richie Rojas, one of the first photographs I ever got published actually in a skateboard magazine. And then the other photograph is of Wiley Singer, who rode for Shutt at the time. The other shot is of Ryan Hickey, and he's doing an ollie over a railing, and it's down in the financial district. Ryan Hickey and Ivan Perez were trying to do this trick, and Ivan broke his board, and Brian ended up getting the photo. Yeah, it's one of my favorite photos ever of like Ryan Hickey, like the expression on his face.
That's Ryan Hickey. But yeah, that was in Big Brother. I think I was in that photo. I think Tobin took that, right? Yeah, Tobin took that one. Ryan's from Brooklyn. Dad was a iron worker, came from a tough family. He's a fisherman now. He's a commercial fisherman.
Oh, really?
He's like a pro fisher. Yeah, he's ill. Goes out and gets tuna and stuff like that. And that's like his new thing now. Which is good because, you know, when you get older, it's like, it's good to get onto new things, and that's what he found. Like, Ryan in his prime, man, he was the best frontside flips in the business. I always wanted to do them like him, but I couldn't. I do them, but not like him, you know. You do them like straight, like a 180. I met him at the banks. And, you know, thinking about it, it was like a long time ago. It was a long time ago, you know. That was like think I went to the banks in '88. Started skating in '87. So that's a long time ago. Dude, I miss this contest, Tompkins Square. This is like one of the worst. This is like one of the things. Like, I don't regret a lot of things, but this is one of the things I regret. I didn't know how to get there. You know, I was like from Queens. I was like a kid. You know, and I missed it. And I was bummed because that was huge back then. I was like, they didn't have contests. You know, so for that, you know, to miss that was like, oh man, I was so bummed out, man. Oh, this is Midtown. They had like style, but they had power too. They were like strong. They were strong kids. If you looked at them, like looking back, I didn't really realize like strength was like a factor. Like these kids were like strong kids, ollie over anything. But that's old. This is like late '80s. That's a great picture. I don't know who. I didn't even know they had a skateboarding magazine. You know, I was like, wow. I forgot what magazine it was. It was like a Thrasher maybe. So I'm looking at all these like, you know, Cali, because it was all West Coast, and I saw this black kid. It was Harold Hunter. Holy shit! So I automatically connected him because I heard of him because at the time he was just like ripping, and then plus it was New York, so I had more of a connection with him. Harold was good, man. Everyone, you know, like towards the end, like, you know, they saw Harold like kind of heavy set, but Harold was real good, and everyone kind of sometimes forgets about it. Like, I don't forget. Look at that. How young he is right there.
Harold beat Eric Cost in the best trick contest.
Did he?
Backside heel flip over the wall.
Oh, right. Oh, man. That's so funny, man. Yeah, he did do that backside heel flip. Oh, yeah, because he's always saying, yo, I'll be Eric Costa in the best trick, yo. Eric Costa, see, yo, Harold beat you, son. Don't forget that. Damn, I forget. You know what? It's crazy because, you know what? It's like, just caught up with now, and like I forget about all those stuff, you know. So when I think back, and it's like a dream. It was all skating, you know. Didn't matter what you did, who you were, where you came from. If you skated, you were cool. Like, we were all friends, you know. Because back then, like, everyone looked down at skating. Now it's like Tony Hawk, you know. It's like, all right, bro, cool. But back then, it was just like you were like a leper. Like, no one really looked at you when you're skating. You know what I mean?
I'm a fucking asshole. And if you don't like me, I don't give a fuck.
Chris Keefe sold up this book. Chris was like, he was really good when he was younger, and his brother was good, but they were like kind of like, you know, like cool guys, you know. But then we ended up being friends, and then my friend Giovanni Estevez, he brought us together, and we all became best friends. At that time, it was something special because we had a strong crew of skaters. This is me. Yeah, this was St. Patrick's Cathedral. It was cool because we had Tobin. Tobin came into town, and I was like, first time, you know, we were shooting like a well-known photographer, and I was like, yo, man, I want to get something good. But not only that, I wanted to get something good. I wanted to get something that no one else had before. Plus, I wanted to make it like real New York style.
Whose idea was it to prop up like Jeff Pang's board?
These guys did that. Jeff did, and I was kind of like, come on, man. Like, you know, it's like kind of cheesy, but looking back now, it's cool because that's Don Carey's board. He was ripper, and that's Jeff's board.
Was Jeff like the older guy of your crew?
Nah, he just looks old. Nah, we're the same age. Oh, yeah, this photo. We used to go skate the banks, and then we go skate World Trade because they had, you know, the steps, the ledges, they had everything there. But this particular day, we went there, and they had these huge, like, they were doing construction or something, and they had these huge banks. And we just so happened to have a filmer and a photographer with us that day. It was worked out perfect. Dimitri took this photo. I like this because the whole was all very New York, you know, we had the World Trade Center. I was wearing a cream shirt. I was styling like blue and cream, half calves. Yeah, man. That was my life, man, just skating, you know? Skating every day. It was a fun time in my life. So it was cool because I started skating in the late 80s, so I experienced like the late, you know, the 80s era of skateboarding, then the early 90s, and in the mid 90s. It's fortunate that I was blessed to have it documented and you know, be a part of the book and everything. But looking back, it's just a memory, you know, it's like a dream. It's all a dream. Can we get like a bottle of Pellegrino, please? Sure. Please, we'll get it started. Tab, thanks. Sparkling. There's a book all about skateboarding in New York, skateboard photography.
Is it a new book?
From the 80s, yeah. It's cool because I forgot so long ago. This is like 15, 16, longer, 18 years ago.